What is going on, Cyberpunks? Today we're going to be talking about the bombshell I dropped in my previous video, and that is the fact that Johnny Silverhand's body possibly is in the game. And this is one of the reasons why I believe his lines may have been cut in the recently leaked lines or dialogue lines that data miners have found for the upcoming DLC. If you are subscribed to my channel, then you know that most of my information come from source books. Now, if you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, these source books are a reference or a guide for the TTRPG version of Cyberpunk 2077. Actually, that's a little bit incorrect for me to say. The TTRPG version of Cyberpunk, which is called Cyberpunk Red, is technically a prologue to the game that we play. Hence, a lot of the information from these source books can actually be confirmed when we play the game. Anyways, one of the stories that I have found in the source books is called Black Dog. Now, a quick background here. The reason why I was so interested in this story was because of a particular character named Trace Santiago. Now, if you know who Santiago is, you know why I was particularly interested. It's also kind of insinuated heavily by Mike Pondsmith that Rogue is Trace's son. So one of the reasons why I was researching this source book or the story altogether was to gather more information on who Trace Santiago was and to kind of create a lore video on him and his mom, Rogue. But while I was doing so, I actually uncovered something very, very interesting. Now, without going into too much detail about the story itself, Trace and his group is asked to deliver a crate to New Mexico, to a particular place called Los Alamos Labs. Now, the client for this particular mission is named Samantha, and she is a fully chromed and decked out firefighter. So she's a full Borg. And what's interesting about her is she was actually there for when the nuking of the Arasaka Tower happened. So she was able to sneak this crate off from the wreckage and hide it. Now, I'll add more context as we go along. What else is interesting about Samantha is that she is a massive fangirl of Samurai and, of course, Johnny Silverhand. So in the beginning, when I was reading this, my first response and my first thought was, okay, cool. That might be Johnny Silverhand right there. But as we go along, we actually come across one other interesting character, Michiko Arasaka. As the group continues to travel, they are hounded endlessly by gangs and other mercs hired by corpos. At first, they were rather confused, and Trace comes to the same conclusion that I did in the beginning, that the crate they are transporting is someone as infamous as Johnny Silverhand, hence the amount of attacks and attention they are receiving. However, as Michiko is introduced, she goes on to explain that the crate they are actually transporting is a nuke. For many of us, we already know how the nuking of the Arasaka Tower went. It was, of course, Militech planned and sponsored. Johnny Silverhand is the one who detonated the nuke, and, you know, the rest is history. But one thing that was kept under wraps and not officially released to the public was that Arasaka had their own nuke within the tower. Now, the purpose of this nuke was simply to blow up anyone who was able to find the secrets within the tower. But of course, that didn't happen because Johnny was able to actually set off the nuke, so this particular warhead was never actually set off. She goes on to explain that they have actually been observing Samantha and making sure that the crate, which is now confirmed by Michiko to be the warhead, they wanted to make sure that it never got into the wrong hands. And the reason for this is corpos wanted to expose Arasaka and kind of say, oh, look, they had a nuke, or maybe even detonate it and, again, like cause another scene and blame it all on Arasaka. So that's the reasoning. And at this point, I'm not going to lie to you, I was a little bit disappointed while I was reading the story because I really wanted it to be Johnny Silverhand. So we get a little bit of an explainer from Michiko, and it kind of sucks and it bums me out. But as always, there is more to the story. So I'm going to read the very last, portion of the story just to give you guys some context about what is to be revealed. So here we go. I'm dying, says Samantha over the comm link. All the dose I took when I moved the bomb has finally hit my spinal cord. Cancer. You shouldn't have done it, Sammy, says Angel, or waited till I could have said help. But Samantha shakes her head. We didn't know who or what owned the thing, and the rad detectors were going off all over the place from the last one. If I hadn't been full body, if I hadn't been a rad-shielded firefighter, I would have been dead within the hour. As it was, I had enough time to clear all the important stuff out of the wrecked bunker and to get rid of the hot stuff at the bottom of the bay. And I thank you for doing that, Angel replies, then adds sadly, are you sure I can't do anything to help? Samantha shakes her head. I promised I would get him to you in the end. It took me a while to find the right people I could trust, but they did the job. Now my bit is over. She sighs, breathes heavily as if blowing hair that hasn't been there in 3 decades, out of the way. Gonna go get me a glass of good rye whiskey, sit back on the couch, and when I feel it's about time, I'll hit the kill switch and shut down my life support. That's pretty sad. Carefully, Angel rolls the heavy bomb casing over. She punches the code into the small keypad now exposed. There's a hissing of compressed air, of utter cold that blows back her hair as the casing splits to reveal the blue-white ice of the hidden cryo chamber. She looks tenderly down at the dark frozen face behind its masking curtain of ice. Hello, my love, she says. Oh, my lord, Choombas. Okay, I know it is a lot to take in, but hear me out. So I know I've skipped a bunch of there's like missing context here. First thing is Angel appears to be the person in charge at the lab in New Mexico. The other thing you got to know about Angel is she is also a huge Johnny Silverhand fangirl. So at the very end, when she goes, hello, my love, she says, it kind of just says, like, I mean, it wouldn't be Raish Bartmoss and her saying, hello, my love. Like, and it's also going to be really weird if Angel had like an Arasaka husband that survived the nuking. So it's just, come on. Like, at this point, there's no way that it's not Johnny Silverhand. The other thing we got to point out is the fact that it says hidden cryo chamber. So this means that both Samantha and Angel knew what they were doing, or at least Samantha. Like, she worked to make sure that, let's say, a group was to open the crate, which Trace and his group actually does. When they open the crate, they actually see that, oh my god, like there's a nuclear symbol on it. So they originally think that, oh my, it's a nuke. Even before Marasaka, Michiko confirms it. But they clearly planned this. This was something that they had in mind from a long time. And as Samantha points out, it took her a while to find the right group to deliver it to Angel. So now at this point, I am 100% convinced that this is indeed Johnny Silverhand. So what does that mean for the DLC? One of the things I want to point out is a lot of the leaks kind of indicate that this DLC is going to be before the final mission. And I think this makes perfect sense. The reason for this is this. What if somehow V is able to find Johnny Silverhand's body and kind of like set him free before the end of the game? This may get a little bit confusing, so I'm going to go slow. So what if instead of inserting Johnny Silverhand's relic into his old body, they make an engram of V, and because now Hellman is technically captured by and is with Takemura, if Hellman creates them another relic, they can then insert V into Johnny Silverhand's body. Number one, this cures Johnny Silverhand and V. What will happen to Johnny's body? Essentially the same thing that happened to V. V will now begin to take over his body, just as Johnny Silverhand took over V's body. So hopefully I didn't confuse you there, but yeah, what if they do that? And this will cause then Johnny to have less lines. They don't need him anymore because essentially he can go in peace. Like, his ending, I think he kind of just like goes into a bus and like drives off to God knows where. So what if by the time we get to this ending, Johnny's like, you know what, I'm done with all this. V, it's up to you if you want to, you know, destroy Arasaka, or if you want to go with Rogue, if you want to go with Pan Am, whatever it is you want to do your thing. And that in my opinion, would very well explain why Johnny Silverhand no longer has many lines in the game, because he is given an exit. Another kind of crazier route is, let's say they both have their own bodies now. What if Johnny goes full crazy and he's like, you know what, V, I'm going to be the one who destroys Arasaka. And he's the one who goes and solos, or tries to solo, Arasaka once and for all, inevitably killing him. Again, another route for him to have less dialogue, because, you know, we can, let's say we select this ending, Johnny goes and nukes Arasaka for like the 50th time. And at this point, let's say he's successful, but he officially dies. So he's no longer needed. There's no longer the lines and dialogues again needed for him. And in this ending, it's easily explained that V no longer wants to do anything with Arasaka. Why? Because he or she now has his own body. So there's no need for them to attack Arasaka. It's just that maybe at this point, Johnny's just like, screw it, I'm going to go at it myself. And that's going to be it for me in this video. I know it's very short and very like straight to the point. Maybe I'll do a video on the Black Dog story completely. But at this point, I feel like I got most of the information I need anyways. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Do you think this theory is valid? Do you think this works? And do you think this explains a lot of the leaks that have come out from the data miners? Why did I say that so weird? Anyways, guys, if you have not watched my original Kang Tao theory vid, please go watch that one. I put a lot of effort into that one, and then unfortunately, like, the leaks came out, so I was like, but thank God I was, reading the source books, and I had more information to share with all of you cyberpunks. That is it for me in this one, guys. Leave a thumbs up, and of course, leave a comment. I love discussing what you think about what happened, what you guys want to happen in the DLC, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Now, one thing I forgot to talk about is Songbird. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this whole video was not scripted and it had a lot of and that's because I'm just going to top of my head. Anyways, okay, what about Songbird and what I think their role in this DLC will be? My simple answer to this question is that Songbird will be the person to tell V and Johnny that, hey, I know what can help you cure your situation or solve your issue at this moment. Of course, the Cyberpunk and Chumba answer would be, everyone has already said that, so what makes you so different? And I think this is where their, Songbird's name comes into play. I'm not sure. I don't think, I already Googled Songbird's name to see if it was like a samurai song, and it wasn't. But I think the idea here is Songbird will say something that only Johnny Silverhand knows, and at that moment Johnny's gonna be like, oh crap, V, we need to trust this person. And it kind of makes sense. Originally, Songbird was supposed to be part of the base game, and I think one of the reasons why they removed this character was because if they were going to reveal Johnny's his physical body's whereabouts, it would take away from the game's actual ending, whereas now it adds value because we know the transformation Johnny has gone through. And if you guys remember, Johnny did say that, oh yeah, my body is out there somewhere. I can't remember the particular moment he says this. I think it's like in the very beginning, but he does say that. So when I first played Cyberpunk, I thought we were actually going to find Johnny's body as a solution. So I think that's where Songbird's character falls into play here. And it's a very big and important role, I think, for sure. But at the end of the day, I think it's just he or she. I'm not sure if Songbird is actually a female. A lot of YouTubers have been showing that Songbird is a female. I don't know. I can't confirm that. Someone let me know in the comment section below. But anyways, I think the role of Songbird is to be a messenger, and for whatever reason, the name Songbird just kind of gives me that vibe, that the role here is just to be like, hey, I have some good news for you. Here it is. Bye bye. So I don't think she's gonna play, or he or she's gonna play, a bigger role than just providing us with the location of where Johnny Silverhand's body is. So maybe something like this: the first 4 missions we help Songbird out, and then once you finish all those gigs, they then tell you, okay, here's your reward for helping me out. And the last 3 missions is V and Johnny actually maybe going to Los Alamos Labs to then, get the body. Maybe some people don't want him to have his body or want to keep it as a collector's item because there are some crazies out there, let's be honest. And then I think that'll complete the DLC arc, and then we go to choose the ending we want from there. Anyway, Cyberpunks, for real, that is it for me. I will see you edge runners later.